Okay. We should be live, only I can't see it. You're gonna have to find it on your phone. This is why we always like to start early.
There's nothing there.
It's gonna take a little bit. Well, here, I can do this.
You don't have it, it's this, no
Okay.
views.
Okay, hang on.
You don't have it monetized.
Okay, I just sent you a link. It's coming to your text. Hit the link, or do you see us already?
Mm-mm.
Hit the link. I texted it to you.
Well, I have do not disturb on.
There. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to worry about that other part at the moment. I'll take care of it after the stream is over. Okay?
Got several on already.
Awesome.
But we're early, so we can't tell the secret yet.
Oh, I think a
No.
lot of people figured it out.
No.
But anyway,
It's weird.
so first off, like we always do, need to make sure that everybody can hear us okay, and I need to see how we look on screen because it's not showing up on mine. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. It's about as lit up as I can make it. All right, I'm happy with that.
Okay, what about the volume?
Well, that's why we're asking people if they can hear us.
We should hear it on yours, though.
No, I got the volume turned down. Mine doesn't do that. Just, you're going to get feedback. Okay.
For what?
The volume will not show up on this. It's only going to show up on yours. And it's going to be about a 20-second delay.
Well, yes, I know that, but usually,
Okay.
never mind.
But usually if you pull it up, if you have the volume up, because we are wearing wireless mics, you will get feedback. So that's why we turn the volume off on our phones. I thought we knew that.
Well, yes, I know that, but usually, never mind. I thought I could usually hear it.
Usually if you pull it up, if you have the volume up, because we are wearing wireless mics, you will get feedback. So that's why we turn the volume off on our phones. I thought we knew that. There you go.
Okay, so I guess the reason I've always heard something going on is you talking? Probably.
I don't know. I thought we've been through this before.
No, I've been live before, but you know.
Thought we've been through all that. I just need to know from the audience if they can hear us and if it's coming through okay. That's what I need to know before we move on. Well, should be able to because I could hear the volume there.
Audio and visual great. You're good, loud and clear. Sounds good.
Okay.
Looks and sounds good. Got lots on here.
How many?
64.
That's fabulous.
Josidai from Wisconsin. Timothy from Maryland.
How do you do?
John Moko from Hello All. Ronnie Beatty, Rook and Missy. Unnamed Canadian. Dying to know what the big thing is you messed up on. Donna from Texas. Traveling Tonys. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Pearl Fox from Iowa. Ginger Snap Judy. Kathy Taylor. Crow's Nest. Hi, guys. How was the race?
Yeah.
Donnie Roberts. Carolyn Girl. Richard Blaylock. Hey, Richard. Hope Jane is there with you. Carolyn Hudson. Today in California, I saw a tiny house from Maine. Really nicely done. Dark blue, small container, lots of metal. So exciting. Ed and Kathy, make each day count. Mike Wilson, Janet. Well, hi, Mike and Janet.
Mike and Janet.
From up, yeah. They've been at Itch a few times, Mike and Janet.
Okay.
He'll remember later, Mike.
I'm sure I will, Mike. I'm sorry. I
Rob
apologize.
from Arizona. Sean Horn. Traveling Tony's again. Sounds good. Timothy. Wow, Donna Robert. I hope I got all of you. Terry Gibbs. Volume is good. Ginger Snap. Judy.
Yeah, you've mentioned Ginger Snap twice and the Traveling Tonys
Dinah
twice.
Butler. Well, they've commented twice.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Paige. Hey, Paige.
Hi, Paige. Dinah's on, too.
Donnie Roberts, Arthur, Leslie, Terry Gibbs, make each day count again. Okay, I think I said hi to everybody.
Fabulous.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell me when it's officially 7 o'clock and we're officially on the air.
It turned off cold here today in Alabama.
Well, not really cold, but it's in the upper 50s.
And the wind was blowing.
And the wind was blowing.
I didn't see you sitting outside.
No, because it was too cold.
All right then.
Yeah. Yeah, it turned up, but we were expecting it because, you know, Ryan Hall, Evan Freiberger, and Max Velocity, which are the three different YouTube weather people we watch, all have been predicting doom and gloom for this week. You know,
this coming week. Sounds like some of us need to batten down the hatches.
Basically beginning tomorrow. In fact, I saw earlier, we were kind of strolling through YouTube, and it looks like Reed Timmer, who is a storm chaser, has already started chasing storms out in western Oklahoma. But we didn't watch it very long, and I don't know, you know, if they've actually seen anything or if there's much activity going on. But the way they're talking, our weather here where we are, which is not very far from Eufaula, Alabama. In fact, we're on the lake that some people affectionately call Lake Eufaula. That supposedly that weather is supposed to affect us beginning Wednesday-ish. First we thought it was Tuesday for here. And by that time, maybe it'll be, you know, fizzled out to the point where it's not that bad for us. But we're keeping a watchful eye, and we haven't put any of the tents up, the pop-up or the gazebo. Yeah, just because of that.
Our chairs are still sitting outside, however.
Well, yeah, but they can easily be tossed in the van when the time comes. So.
All right, James from Tucson, Lynn and Aaron from Texas. Make each day count. Glad to see you didn't leave Deb tonight. April and Charles, hi.
Hey guys, long time no see. We sure would like to see you guys again someday soon. Maybe once we make that announcement that for the fall, the big fall rendezvous, which we'll be making in 2 or 3 weeks or so. Am I right? 4 weeks.
End of March.
End of March. Which will be just barely
in April.
Which will barely be inside the 6-month window, because the Corps of Engineers will not let you make a reservation more than in 6 months in advance. We'll be making that announcement just barely inside that 6-month window. Once we actually, decide which one we're going to do, which place we're going to go.
Michael from Orlando, new subscribers.
Maybe
welcome,
we can
welcome
see you
above.
guys then. Hey.
Rum Chata and Fairball. Don't have any tonight.
Who said that? Who said that?
Make each day count. Who'd you think?
Well.
Spring, Texas, Arwood. Hi, guys, from Fort Myers.
We can't afford Rum Chata.
Mike in West Virginia. John and Janice from South Haven, Mississippi.
Wow.
Joanne from Texas, loud and clear.
Fabulous.
Glad you all joined us tonight. This is amazing.
We sure are tickled to death when a plan comes together. Don't know if y'all have noticed it recently, but in our last couple of lives we've done, we've started using the GoPro instead of our phone, and I feel like the picture is a lot better. And I'd always hesitated in the past to use the GoPro. The one we're using is our Hero 12 Black. GoPro Hero 12 Black because, I was afraid it might be a little too complicated, but quite honestly, it's very, very simple to set it up to go live as long as you've got good internet. And it just so happens right here we have excellent internet at this particular spot in this campground that we're at. And I don't mind telling you where we're at because the whole campground is booked solid. And we just happened to be fortunate to get a site. But anyway, the whole campground is booked solid, and we'll be pulling out of here Thursday. But we're at Hard Ridge Creek on what's the actual name of the lake? Walter F.
Something.
Is it Walter F. George?
Maybe.
I think. But everybody around here calls it Lake Eufaula. But that's where we're at, and it's a beautiful campground. We've been here before. We love it. Oh, and
you gotta
Delilah.
say hello.
Delilah is, she knows when that camera comes out.
Patricia, glad to see you're on. That means you guys got home okay.
Yeah. Great.
Hello from Chris and Joyce in Alabama. Glad to see you on. That means you guys got home okay.
Yeah. And you raced me on I-10. Well, you didn't really race me. You passed me and just kept on going.
Patty from San Antonio. Jim from Oklahoma. Anyway, Ed was going to come down tomorrow. Come on, Ed.
Oh, is Ed coming tomorrow?
No.
Oh, he's not?
I think he's joking.
Oh, probably. He's a jokester.
Arliss Marie from Yukon, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Not very far from some other friends we have in Oklahoma. Jim and Kim and Mike and Lisa.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, Yukon's more over by Oklahoma City.
Yeah. Yukon is on the other side.
There's the star of the show. That's right. She saw the camera getting put up.
She's like that. Now, don't you think you're going to get up on the... You're not
There's
supposed to get up. You know you don't do that.
Hi, Brad. Hey, Steve.
Well, she's kind of ornery tonight, too. She's wanting to play.
Play? She's trying to eat us.
Yeah,
She doesn't like the food we got her or something.
Well, yeah, because Dollar General didn't have the one she prefers.
She likes the extra gravy one, thanks to Kathy.
Uh-huh.
Can't always find that.
Is that Kathy's fault?
Yeah, she gave her a can of something with extra gravy.
Ah, well, of course.
Of course.
Of course. What time is it now?
It's 7:02.
So we can actually...
Dan Huey, hello from Lafayette. Make each day count again. Ha, ha, ha. Living our journey 365. Nathan and Tess. Fred from Skytook.
Skytook.
See, she's mean tonight.
Yeah.
Go on.
Being ornery. You go on. Yeah.
Go up on the bed or
She'll
wherever.
Now she's just sitting over here, just right over here, now staring back at us, giving us dirty looks. Yeah. But anyway.
All right, you have 160 people holding their breath. What did you forget?
Moly. Well,
we forgot.
Yeah, we did forget it, and I still don't understand how in the world we managed to do this. But yesterday, March the 1st, marked our 6th anniversary when we started living this lifestyle 6 years ago. Yesterday is when we began this lifestyle.
Yep, we moved out of the house and into the red trailer, and there we are.
Yep. And
we had talked about doing something last week, and then both of us made a mental note. Okay, when we get to the next campground, we'll have plenty of time to do a video.
Yeah.
And then, blew right out the window.
Yeah, I can't believe that we forgot it because we kept thinking about trying to figure out, how are we going to commemorate the 6th year. But it's actually been a full 6 years, and...
Hello from Iowa. Hello from South Carolina. Howdy from Michigan.
Holy moly.
Gary and Jen from Minnesota. Hopefully you guys are still down in the warmth.
Yeah. Your walkthrough video's going to be released, Gary and Jen, probably...
Happy Place Camping. I've seen your new puppy.
Probably Tuesday-ish, Gary and Jen. So, give or take a day, either way, but right in there. So be watching for it. Yes, folks, we'll have another awesome walkthrough video coming up, probably next Tuesday or so, give or take a day, or either way, depend on, what I've got going on at the time.
John
And
Shoot. Hey, John. Hadn't heard from you all for a while.
oh yeah,
Eric
yeah.
from Kentucky. Jim Logan says 6 years went by fast. Yes, it did.
Yeah, it did.
Because, Jim, we've known you about 5.5 years.
Yeah, you were one of the first ones
You and
that
Jan
we met.
and Jan and Johnny.
You and Jan and Johnny were our
And
first.
Felicity and Jesse.
And Felicity and Jesse, yes. Those were the three folks, or two couples and one guy. And then we found out later that Jim had a really sweet wife when he finally brought her around. And now, whenever Jim comes to meet us somewhere, we prefer that he bring her with him.
Oh, we put up with him when he was by himself.
Yeah, we tolerate.
We tolerate.
We tolerate Jim. Yeah, yeah.
You guys,
But-
we have met some awesome, awesome people in the last 6 years. It's been totally amazing.
Yeah, it has. And sometimes when I really start thinking about it, or if we go back and we watch old videos and stuff like that, my eyes get a little watery sometimes because of all these folks that we've met. And then it's just like we mentioned in a video just a couple of days ago, with this last meetup that we had, and we had 8 to 10 couples somewhere in that ballpark, and how the last 3 nights we were all there together. We were sitting around a campfire, and everybody was just talking to each other as if they'd known each other for years. And
they'd only met 3 days ago.
And we shared stories, camping stories and all kinds of stuff.
Bill had fresh people, had never heard his stories before.
Yeah.
He had to tell the story about leaving me at a campground again.
Yeah, and then
because they'd never heard it.
I got to. And then I got to tell it in our video that we released just a day or two ago. Again, but that's one of those things that I'll never live down.
No,
is when I left you. But it's not near as bad as somebody one time when we were telling stories around the campfire, told about how they stopped to get fuel, and the wife went into the restroom and he drove off without her from the gas station.
Yeah, no, that would be a little worse.
Yeah. At least
Somebody
I haven't done that.
Somebody else said there at the campground that night that they had done that, and they had to remember which. No, actually, that was Cowboy who came to see us the day or two after.
Uh-huh.
He left his sister at a gas station. Then he had to try to remember which gas station.
Oh.
She wasn't very happy.
Oh, I don't imagine she was. I didn't hear that story because
Yes.
I was shooting a walkthrough video while you were talking to him there for a while. A gentleman that come to visit us at the last campground we were at over in Florida. But yeah, it's been quite a ride. And let me tell you something, folks. When we set that trailer up for the first time, we knew nothing at all. Nothing, did we, dear?
Nope.
Boy, you're being ornery.
She is. Don't be antagonizer.
But I'll never forget that day. And this was we didn't go very far. We only went just a few miles. We walked out of the house, hopped into the van with the trailer hooked up, and drove straight out to a Corps of Engineer campground just outside of town. And that was our first stop.
And it was like 50, 60 degrees that day.
Right.
It was nice.
Yeah, March 1st. But then we had a freak front come through, and lately, the way weather has been acting the way it is, something like that is not so freaky anymore, because the weather has been really weird the last few years. But we had a front come through and ended up with about an inch of ice with about 2 inches of snow on top of that.
And we were parked on a site like,
Right.
Yay.
Yeah.
And behind us was not, I mean, we had one of those little concrete blocks.
Well, I don't think
we had one of
no,
those.
it didn't even have a curb.
It didn't even have a curb.
No, we didn't even back up to a curb because, and like Deb said, the site was like this, and this is the back, and I didn't think about wheel chocks and stuff like that.
No.
I just simply.
Well, actually, a guy had met us at our house the day we were moving out.
Yeah.
And we were cleaning. He said, I'll come by with my trailer, and anything you don't want, I'll take, because he's kind of a pack rat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He loaded up his trailer, and Bill, as he was loading up, he says, here, I'm not going to need these concrete blocks. Why don't you take them?
Yeah.
So he did.
Yeah. So yeah, when we got all set up and everything, the only thing that I really did to kind of sort of hold the trailer in place was I ran the stabilizer jacks down, because we had stabilizer jacks on the red one on all four corners. So that's what I did. Well, when I got up the next morning and went out and started looking, I noticed that I could tell by the tongue jack, the way it was setting on a block that I had there for it to rest on, that the tongue jack was actually setting 2 inches further back than what it was when we set it up the night before. So we had scooted back 2 inches in the night. And the wind was blowing too. You know, it was not one of those desirable days by any means. And the thing about it is, had we have went down over the back of the hill, it was just a straight slope down to the road down below. So it would have been quite a ride.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that,
That might have stopped this journey real quick.
Right. It would have, our new lifestyle would have only lasted one night, and that would have been it, because I'm pretty sure we probably would have given up for sure
I'm
after that.
pretty sure.
Yeah. But anyway, we got around, ran into Home Depot and bought some concrete blocks. That's
And
all
he
I
wouldn't
could
let
think
me
of.
stay home while he went.
No.
He says, oh no, you come with me.
She thought she'd just stay home. And I said, no, you're not staying in this trailer until we get it, blocked up a little bit better. So
And
that's what we did.
We had an onboard freshwater tank, but did we think to fill it?
No.
No, we hooked it up to city water.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the hose froze.
Yeah, yeah. And not only did the hose freeze, but now it was one of those typical water faucets they have at a Corps of Engineer campground, where it's the type that's not supposed to freeze because it goes way down deep into the ground. You've got the galvanized pipe that stands up out of the ground about 24 inches or so. But supposedly the actual part that shuts off, is way down below the freeze line. But since we had it open and on, not only did the water freeze in the hose, but it also froze in that standpipe as well.
If we're going to do it, why don't do it right?
Yeah, so we did it good. And in addition to that, we didn't have gray tanks on the red trailer. And the way we had designed that one was we drained directly into Blue Boy tanks. And I had 2 sewer dumps on that trailer, one in the front for the kitchen gray water, and then the one at the back for the shower. And so we had 2 tanks. And the trailer set too low to drain properly. The tanks, when I set them beside the trailer, and that's another reason why we harp on straight axles now. Because you get more clearance, for things like running sewer drains and stuff. But the front one especially, it was terrible because the nose was practically on the ground. So there's no way that, the sewer dump coming out of the trailer right here, but the tank inlet is up here. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna drain up like that. And the back wasn't much better. So what we did, fortunately I had enough hose where I could stretch it out, but I scooted the tanks down the hill to the side of the trailer and ran hose down to them.
Guess what? That
from there.
Too.
Yeah. The tanks froze, with the gray water in them. And they weren't very big tanks, so we were going to have to dump them. But the problem was we couldn't dump them because they were froze. So, and it took about 3 days for them to thaw.
That was our first few days.
Yeah.
And yes, it's a wonder we continued. But we were both still so very excited about the whole lifestyle.
Yeah.
That those things was like an adventure. It wasn't a problem.
Yeah. yeah,
I'm gonna turn this furnace down. It's a little warm.
if that, yeah. So it's getting cool. It's probably in the 40s right now, and but that'll, a lot of people ask, well, does that there heat pump keep you warm? Well, it's actually
A little
a
warm.
little warm. Yeah. So she's adjusting that accordingly. So anyway, that's what happened there on that. Might see if we've got any questions or comments we can address right now, because we were telling our story.
It's just everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah.
You guys have come a long way.
Yeah. Well, we'd like to think so.
We've learned a lot, and we try to share everything we learn with other people. But it's been quite an adventure.
Yeah. Yeah. And we still learn something new.
Just about every
Often.
day.
Yeah.
Every time we set up.
Oh yeah. Something different. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what else to say about that, but anyway, so that's where we are.
Future plans.
Future plans? Mm-hmm. Keep on doing what we're doing for now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we're not ready to quit yet.
No,
So.
long ways away from that. Long ways away. Eventually, we'll end up back in Northwest Arkansas. We'll be back in Northwest Arkansas.
She says, "You're silly. That's not a furnace." Well, no, it's the heat pump on my mini split, but it works like a furnace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right now it does.
So, it was pumping out the heat.
It goes both ways, and quite well. We've actually been clear down into the teens,
Yes.
and haven't had any trouble staying warm. So, people ask that.
My
ask us
favorite
those
thing
kind of
to
things.
do is when it's cold like that is we got as a gift, and I don't know what I would do without them now, heated mattress pad for the bed. We each have our own control. And what I like to do is set this on about 65 and turn the heat pad on. And it's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. It is nice. But then there'll be some that'll say that you shouldn't sleep on them
Well,
electrical things because they can cause different impulses in your body and stuff. But
Michelle says they built their first trailer in 2016 before it was popular.
Awesome.
Janet and myself just getting started on our conversion build. Are you building a new one, Mike? What general part of the country are y'all thinking for the next rendezvous? Now, y'all know that's a secret.
Don't. Let's talk about this for a minute. Now, you can kind of do a little deduction. It's going to be October-ish. So we're going to try to hold it in a part of the country that won't necessarily be getting cold-ish at that time.
That's enough.
And that's as far as I can go.
As far as we're going. We get in trouble.
Yeah.
We get in trouble from other friends that don't deduce it.
and we have talked about this before in videos. And we're going to talk about it again. We've got quite a few people on. How many people we got on there right now?
209.
Wow. Fabulous. We announce it on YouTube, period. And we announce it on YouTube just barely inside the 6-month window. In other words, when we make the announcement, the rendezvous will not be taking place until 6 months after.
You can't make
the
a
day we
reservation
announce it.
anyway. And Bill and I
Right.
want to make sure we have our reservation, because it'd be pretty bad if y'all booked up the campground and we couldn't come.
Yeah, that's true. But some people have emailed us wanting us to put them on a list so we can just simply email them. And, and I can see why you would want us to do that, because you might be thinking, well, what if, like we had one gentleman here a while back who was quick to point out, now remember, I've been at every single rendezvous you've ever had, and we appreciate that, but that doesn't mean that we're going to give you special treatment. And that some people may not like the way that comes out, but here's the thing. The reason why he or other people have said that they would like to be on an email list, and of course we can wait and email them after the announcement, is simply because they may or may not be watching the video when it comes out, and they are pretty sure that the rendezvous would be filled up within 3 days, which is what has happened in the past. So they want us to let them know so they don't have to worry about staying tuned to YouTube. And in a way, I kind of get that. But on the other hand, here's the thing. We think it's much more fairer, if for other people to see it, and maybe there's never had an opportunity to come, and if they are like 2 days in before they see the announcement, they got a better chance of going ahead and getting a site there if they've never been able to come to one before. So the fairest thing to do, as far as we're concerned, is to make the announcement, and then you can be ready to make your reservation. And what we also suggest, if you're thinking, well, maybe, what if something happens that I can't go? Well, remember that with the Corps of Engineers, when you make your reservation, if for some reason you're not able to come, you can go in and cancel your reservation, and you get all your money back except $10.
That's the way it is right now.
Yeah, that's the way it is now. But you get a refund minus $10, and so that's the way it is.
You can always change your mind, in other words.
Yeah, you can always change your mind. You can always back out, and usually there's always someone waiting to grab that spot if for some reason you can't come. So
Mike
yeah.
and Patty are building a new one.
Okay.
Another 7x14, and they're hoping to have it done, soon. Another person says, so Alaska is out.
That's correct.
Rebecca and Roger from Texas say hey. Anyway.
And another thing about the announcement, we're not just going to all of a sudden pop up and boom, here's the announcement. We will be letting people know when to expect the announcement. We're not just going to go, boom, here's the announcement. So you will be prompted, everyone that's truly interested in coming to the next rendezvous, you will be prompted, at least a couple of weeks or so in advance. So
not
yeah.
the location, not the exact dates.
No.
But know that the announcement is coming.
You'll be prompted to be looking for the announcement around such and such a date. Okay.
Let's have a new topic.
Yeah. Well, I know but we've got to explain this. We've got to let people know.
On your current trailer, what do you wish you would have done differently than when you did your first build?
On our current trailer, what do we wish we would have done differently
than when you first built it out?
On this one?
I guess so. There's a heart right there, and I can't make it move.
Okay. You want to answer that? Because I can't think of anything.
On your current trailer, what do you wish you would have done differently? What do we wish we would have done differently?
Hatch doors on the nose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because of the way the V's are, you probably can't see it, but this much is easily accessible under the cabinet. That's where I keep my trash and what have you. From here to there, this section...
Yeah, there's a cavity off the end of the cabinet.
You have to literally crawl in there, and this is just a 10-inch opening, and I ain't that tiny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I really wish, and maybe we will someday.
We can still put hatches there.
On the outside so that we could gain access to that storage easily. It would be a great place to store electric cords, water, keep it separate. But,
and have access to the outside.
Yes, it would be a great spot for that because I got stuff stuck in there, so it's not like it doesn't have any weight in it. Mm-hmm. But it's not stuff I can get to very easily. Yeah. So that I would have done differently.
The only thing about that, we can still do it, but if you all some of you followed along with the build of our trailer, and we even covered this in one of our tips and suggestions videos on how we did the windows. Where we knew we were going to put a window, we first glued plywood, 3/8 inch thick plywood on the inside between the studs in the cavity where the window was going to go, so that we would have something firmer, like a firm backer board, to give it more strength when we cut out the hole for the window and slid the window in. And that's if I had a thought of that ahead of time, to put hatch doors down there, and also so I could put them in before we, put all the cabinets in here and everything. I would have done the same thing down there. I would have went ahead and put a piece of 3/8 inch thick plywood in that cavity between the studs where the hatches were going to go, and that would have given us, here again, more strength to secure those hatch doors in there, especially the hatch doors, because most of them have a flange where you do literally run screws through them. And since we've already, done everything else, we don't really have anything to screw into down there.
What is your thought on head-wired service cable?
Head wire.
Are you thinking hardwired service cable, maybe? Versus twist lock service cable.
That's your preference. I mean, I don't have a yay or nay on that myself. Like the way Paige's motorhome is done, where the power cord was actually hardwired to the panel rather than having a twist lock, a power inlet like we have on our trailer.
Well, we couldn't do that on our build because hers was inside.
Well, yeah, she had a hatch where it all rolled
door
up, and you could put it there.
And we don't have a hatch door.
No, we don't. We could have put one there because of where the cable comes in. It would have been coming in underneath the vanity. No, under that vanity right there.
Oh, yeah, it would have.
Yeah, that's where it actually comes in.
Another place for a hatch door. I forgot that space.
Oh boy.
That space is basically not being used.
Thanks a lot, guys. But no, that's a personal preference thing. I have no opinion either way on that. It just all depends on how you wanna do it. I really can't think of any reason why not. Because we use which we're probably going to do a video about that before too long, but we also use a automatic transfer switch in order to switch from inverter power to shore power. And actually, we have two power cables coming in, and one would be from shore power, and then we have the other power cable that feeds the automatic transfer switch from the inverter. But that would have nothing to do with that either. That would be nothing. It wouldn't matter on that part.
Okay. Do you make your reservations on Reserve America or another site? We go to recreation.gov. It's an actual app that you can go to your app store and download the app. You fill out your basic information, name, address. You don't have to, but they request email. They request a emergency contact number. We, of course, have our daughter there because you never know. And then once you do that, then you can go to search, and you can basically search out national parks or Corps of Engineer campgrounds in that app.
Yeah.
And you can make your reservation through that app.
Right. Now, we do need to clarify something when it comes to that. 99% of the time, we're staying at a U.S. Army Corps of Engineer campground, and that's how you make reservations for
You can
Corps
call.
or you can call, but that's how you reserve. You don't reserve a Corps of Engineers site through Reserve America, do you? Or do
No,
you?
it's the recreation.gov.
Yeah,
Reserve
exactly.
America is a different.
Right. Reserve America is, I think, doesn't Florida state parks, you have to go through Reserve America on them?
I don't
can't
know.
remember.
I've got so many of the state parks. You have to create your own app.
Yeah, in
You have to go
Oklahoma,
get your own
in
app.
Oklahoma, on the Oklahoma state parks, you have to actually set up an account through Oklahoma State Park system.
Right, but
with
Reserve
them.
America is different.
Yeah.
You're better off getting the app for recreation.gov.
If you're going to stay at Corps of Engineer campgrounds.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, that was
because
the question.
I didn't. I thought I heard you read the whole thing, and I don't remember hearing that part.
That was the question.
Okay. All right. Recreation.gov. There.
Okay. Do you think plywood is necessary on a polycore trailer for the windows?
Well, I've probably not, because polycore is a lot thicker. Probably not, but
Would we?
I probably would anyway, just because I'm anal. But it's probably not really necessary.
But we probably would.
But it's just that much more meat, you
Yeah.
know,
That
to help
less.
support that window.
Yeah.
And also, in addition to that, of course, you can do it without the plywood. But one way that we held that plywood in place, we made sure that we mounted the plywood where the exact center of the plywood was also going to be where the exact center of the window was. And one way we held that plywood in place while the glue was setting up is once we laid it in place where we wanted it, and we used little sticks on the bottom to support it exactly where we wanted it to land. Then we drilled a hole directly through that plywood, 1/4 inch hole, right in the center, right through the outside of the trailer, and ran a 1/4 inch bolt through there with a nut and a washer on the outside. Then when we got ready to install the windows later, that bolt was still there, and this is even after we'd finished the inside, done all the insulation, done all of the interior skin, everything. Then we was ready to install the windows on the outside. Those 1/4 inch bolts that were holding that plywood up there while the glue had set up were still sticking through, and that was exactly where we wanted the center of the window to go. So then all we had to do was take the interior trim ring and trace off a pattern on some scrap 1/4 inch skin, drill a hole exactly in the center of it, 1/4 inch hole, with the pattern of the window. Simply unloosen that nut and washer on the outside, slide that pattern up over that bolt, bolt it down, stand back and eyeball it, and make sure it looks pleasing to the eye as far as, being vertical, up and down. And then we made our marks and cut out the window, and the window just popped right into place. And you didn't have to worry about accidentally cutting it wrong, because you had made a pattern that fits it, and it ended up being exactly where you wanted, especially if you're stacking 2 windows side by side and they both come out. You didn't accidentally get one like this, by doing that ahead of time. So that's another reason why we did the plywood the way we did. But on polycore, it's a lot thicker, and I haven't actually held any in my hand. I've seen trailers with it. In fact, this last walkthrough video we did, theirs is polycore, I'm pretty sure it was, and it's thick, and it's flat, and so you probably wouldn't have an issue with that. But because I'm anal, I probably would still do it anyway for me.
Okay. Ed says that he can tell you where to buy hatch doors.
Well, I'm sure Ed can, because Ed did a video on installing a hatch
No,
door.
that's payback for me showing Kathy the Reva shells.
Oh, that. Well, we've got a couple other ideas we thought we might toss at you, Ed. Something that we saw at our neighbor's house over here. Well, our neighbor's house, our neighbor's RV next door. And I'll just give you a little hint.
No. He didn't take pictures or anything.
They have 4 dogs. They had 4 dogs.
Katie says, grandfather doesn't have an opinion. Love you guys. Hi, Katie.
So anyway, I'm going to mention this to Kathy, what we saw. In fact, I'm going to find it available on the internet so I can show her and tell her all about how wonderful it was for our neighbor to be able to keep all 4 of their dogs in check without having to put leashes on them.
Ed, that's not coming from me. That's Bill. Okay.
I've always got one up on you, Ed. What?
What do you use for an address if you do this full time and live in the camper?
We actually live in our daughter's house in the basement.
Yes.
Enough said.
There you go.
And lots of people do something similar to that. It's not just us. A lot of people do
One
that.
thing I would have done
And that's
was
probably where we may end up one day when it's time for her to start changing my diaper.
Crow's Nest says that he would have moved his electric panel to a different location. Uh, we wouldn't. I mean, we like the location that it is because it's easily accessible. And since I've camouflaged it, you know, I had a lady in the other day, Jen, in fact, came in and she didn't know that was my electric panel until I pointed it out.
Yeah.
I was very pleased.
Yeah. Well, and on the red trailer, we had our power inlet coming in at the nose. I thought that was a wonderful idea. That wasn't a wonderful idea, in my opinion, now. And remember, we had the red trailer for a couple of years because 90% of the time we had to run 50 foot of cable to get back to the power source.
Right.
You know, so we had to carry extra. You know, and we carry extra anyway. But now, because of where we put the power inlet, which was more centrally located on that particular side of the trailer, we most of the time our single 25-foot length is plenty to get to the power source, the power pole. So I wanted to have our panel close to where I was bringing the power into the trailer, and also the panel being where it is was real close to where it's real close to the bed, which actually is close to a raceway, which is one of the steps that go around the bed. That's how I get power from that side of the trailer to that side of the trailer, is through the step slash raceway that runs, you know, beside the bed. Of course, the steps run all the way around the bed, but that's one reason why our design is the way it is, and the panel is just right behind the camera, right there where I'm pointing. So
well, we have steps around the bed for more than one purpose.
Oh,
one
yeah.
was the fender wells that were inside.
Right.
We didn't want to be stepping over them all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we built the steps up.
Yeah.
We wanted the bed frame up high enough so that we could get certain items in there on the floor, mounted on the floor. And so the bed frame itself, that way, isn't, you know, so high off the floor. If we put it clear on the floor, our bed itself would be 36 inches to the top of the bed without a step up right there.
Yeah.
So we have a step up, which makes the bed 24 inches from the floor.
Yeah.
This gentleman says, Sean Horn, I welded square tubes horizontally wherever windows and such were going.
Yeah, and a lot of people do that. I don't know how to weld, and I didn't have access to someone that could weld it for me.
Right. So we did it the way you know, we could do it. Spanky and Boise, have you guys ever come up to the Pacific Northwest? No, but I want to really badly. Oregon, Washington State, Northern California. I would love to see all that. Utah.
Someday.
Colorado. I was born in Colorado, but, you know, I was 2 when we left, so that doesn't count.
Yeah, she was 2 when they left Colorado, and they came to Arkansas, and then I got to meet her when she turned 12.
Carl's
You were so
question.
cute.
I missed Carl's question.
You were so cute.
Do you have plans to come north, like Kentucky, West Virginia, Maryland, or Pennsylvania? Yeah.
We're trying to decide right now, and we're waiting to make our decision, a firm decision on exactly what we're going to do during the summer months. We will go north at least a certain distance, and we're trying to decide if we want to. Last year we were going to try to get over to the land between the lakes. We've never seen that, the land between the lakes, which is what, in Kentucky?
Yes.
Okay.
Close to Paducah.
Yeah. And we have heard, and we've watched a few videos and heard that it's just beautiful, and seen some of the beauty, you know, in some of the videos we've seen. So we would like to do that, but we would also like to go on up north towards Michigan and places like that. So we're doing research now to try and decide which way we think we need to go, so we can be back, so it'll make it easier to get to where we will need to be going for the October rendezvous. I was careful how I said that.
Ed is now threatening to let the air out of your tires.
I have a
Ed,
compressor, Ed.
Ed, that would be punishing me.
That's true. Now, look at that face. Would you want to punish
And
that?
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
It was all Bill.
I hope Kathy's watching right now, along with you, Ed.
Yes, I was born in Canyon City, Colorado.
Yes, she was.
I was born there, and we lived in a log cabin my daddy built in the Black Forest. And that's all I remember.
And his job was putting light bulbs up on the top of towers. Isn't that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was his job. He was supposed to go up to the very top and replace light bulbs. That was his job. And they called him one night during a sleet storm, and he refused. And he was fired.
Yeah. So they ended up going to Arkansas.
So we went to Arkansas and started a dairy farm.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to climb how
No.
many hundreds of feet that was, that time.
John Shute regrets putting a shower outside since all we have is a Y-off trailer or water main with a separate hose.
I didn't know you had an outside shower, John.
Do you use your solar batteries and inverter while driving to run your
No.
electrical devices in
No.
the trailer?
No, we don't. And we have a lot of people ask us that question. We talk to a lot of people that do
Yes, and
run
we
their power.
wired this to be able to do that.
Yeah, but we don't because we found we didn't have to. Our refrigerator, and that's what everybody's concerned about. Food going to go bad. Well, what's been the longest run we've ever
8
made?
hours.
8 hours. The longest run we've made without the refrigerator being plugged in or running off the inverter while we're going down the road has been 8 hours. When we got there, everything was still cold in the refrigerator.
I think the
So-
secret is you just don't open the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we did wire this. We have a totally separate breaker that we can plug the refrigerator and the coffee pot in. And if we needed to, we could turn off all the other breakers in the house and just run that one.
Or as long as we don't plug into anything else, we're doing the same thing.
Yeah, I mean,
But
we
yeah,
wired
I
it.
know.
Why we did that,
Because we had that many holes in the panel, so
Oh.
we went ahead and used them up. And it was easier just to know what was what, without having a whole bunch on one circuit to confuse us.
John says they never use the outside shower. It
Ah.
looks awesome. Audio is breaking up. I don't know why it
Well,
would be.
I don't know why it would be, but surely is it doing it all the
Happy
time?
Place says I keep losing sound.
Is anyone else losing sound?
My mic says it's on.
Yeah, my mic says it's on. Look at something up here. Is anyone else losing sound? And it shows that we're getting sound here. Do you still show a picture there? A good picture?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Somebody else says they haven't lost sound.
Okay.
Happy Place says it's cutting in and out.
Okay.
Fine on my end.
Okay. Well, I don't have an answer for you. I don't know. Let me.
He said it glitched for a second and now all is good. That's it. Fred says it's okay. The sound is fine. Sound is good here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe it was the way I was moving.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, the beauty of microphones. Anyway.
Well,
And it could be internet.
Well,
But we have
don't know.
excellent
Yeah,
service
right here we have excellent. So that's why one reason why we decided to go live. What it can also be too is possible. Although I've turned the mics way down to their lowest setting, there could be clipping now and then, and that could be what you're hearing. Or because if we happen to speak too loud from where we've got them, maybe we should move them where we used to move them. Because I used to wear it up on my hat, you know. But anyway,
Okay.
if we
I'll
have more
try not to
issues,
move too much. That might have been the issue.
and don't don't scream. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see. Sound is good. Sound is good. Sound is
Okay.
good. Okay.
All right.
It's all Deb's fault, and it's a very good possibility.
I wouldn't say that, but anyway.
Tony, my girlfriend and I did a cargo last year, used it twice, and liked it. We watched a lot of your videos for ideas and inspiration. Well, thank you.
We really appreciate that when people tell us that, and you know, we and we'll talk about this for a minute. When we started this adventure, we never once dreamed that it would get to the point that it is, and even still, you know, for as long as we've been doing YouTube, we're just a little bitty channel compared to others that's been doing YouTube as long as us. When it comes to subscribers and things like that, you know, we're coming up on 43. We're climbing towards 43,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of YouTube channels out there that started roughly about the same time we did that have, you know, 3-4 times that many subscribers. Don't know why. Maybe it's because their particular niche is something that's more popular. The name of our channel is a little bit different, so people don't automatically find us real quick, although that seems to be turning around here recently, because we're getting a lot of comments recently where people had just found our channel and they've been binge watching all the different walkthrough videos we've done and things like that. So but here again, even still, we're real happy with the growth. Of course, we'd like to have a lot more subscribers, but let me share something with you that's really strange. And quite honestly, even the big dogs out there experience the same kind of thing. First off, when we started doing YouTube, and then we got to where we qualified to be monetized, then you have another page that you can go to, which is called YouTube Studio, and we get information there that the average person just watching YouTube would never see, you know. And it tells us things like the age brackets of the people that watch our videos, the time of day, which is the most popular for our particular videos, you know, when more people are watching. Gives us a lot of information. One of the things it also gives us is the average view time per video. And it doesn't matter at all, but almost always the average view time is right around half of the length of the video, almost every single time. And so when we first started seeing this, and we were doing 30-minute videos, and we noticed that people were only, you know, according to the analytics, we were only getting, you know, roughly 15 minutes of watch time, we thought, hey, let's start making 15-minute videos. Well, guess what? When we started making 15-minute videos, the average watch time was around 7 to 8 minutes. So then we thought, well, let's try doing 10-minute videos. Well, when we started doing 10-minute videos, the average view time was around 4 to 5 minutes. So, you know, that has not, the length of the video really has nothing to do with it. And I don't know why, but that's the way it is. And I've talked to other YouTubers that are a whole lot bigger than us, and they have exactly the same results as we do. It's strange. The other thing is that even though we have almost 43,000 subscribers, and you might have heard some other YouTubers mention at the end that only X amount of our subscribers will be watching this video. Well, when we have a video that does well for us, which, you know, over 20,000 views, you will, if you can look at the analytics, and it'll break it down as to how many of the viewers were actual subscribers and how many were not. Now it divides it up into more categories than that, but basically those are the two main categories that we are concerned about. Believe it or not, we're doing good, and other YouTubers have told us exactly the same thing. We're doing good to have 20% of our subscribers actually watching the videos. The other 75, 80% are people that are not subscribed. And the part that makes me wonder, and I'm sure other YouTubers are thinking the same things, if those people that just simply watch our videos without subscribing, if they were to go ahead and subscribe, which doesn't cost anything, it doesn't require you to do anything other than simply subscribe. If they went ahead and subscribed, just the fact that we had that many more subscribers would trigger the algorithm in YouTube where it would recommend our videos to more people. As you know, when you're scrolling through, or if you watch a certain video on a certain subject, and after you get done watching that one, if you watch it all the way through, YouTube is going to pop up and suggest others. Well, that's what that algorithm is. You know, they try to find that they'll find other videos that are a similar subject and recommend them to you. And the more subscribers you have, the more it's going to recommend you if your video happens to cover a similar subject. So those are things that it's baffling. We're not complaining, don't get me wrong, but just imagine, you know, on those 30,000 views and only 20% of them are actual subscribers. Just imagine if that other 80% had actually subscribed, you know, what it would do to the algorithm, not just for us and our YouTube channel, but others that are part of your favorite YouTube channels you like to watch.
Okay. Next comment.
Okay.
Actually, it's to me, but I need assistance, I'm sure. What advice do you have for my 58-year-old girlfriend who is still warming up to the idea of life on the road?
That's a hard question to answer.
I can't speak for others. I can only tell you that personally, traveling was always something I wanted to do, we wanted to do. And living tiny, yes, it was a challenge to slim down, go down in the space we had, but we just started looking around at the space that we had and how much of this house are we really using.
Yeah.
So getting rid of things that, well, I didn't have to get rid of very much that meant a lot to me. My granddaughter, Katie, who is on tonight, she is the holder of the family picture albums. She took my mother's chair, so she has that in Grant's bedroom. She took my dad's rocking chair. She has that in her living room, or did when I was there the other day, a few months ago. So everything else except, and I didn't even put them out right now because we just moved in a day ago and we're going to be moving out. And I didn't even put my knickknacks out, but I saved some special knickknacks that I pack away every time we move. But we enjoy seeing new spaces. And I've said this before, when we come in this door, no matter where we're at, and we shut that door, we're home. We tried to make this as homey as we could make it. When we open the door, we're in completely new surroundings. But once we're inside, we're home. That's the way I feel about it. Now, that's all I can say.
Well, and there's so many other things to think about, and our experiences are probably going to be different than others, and the people we associate with now, which is something we didn't expect when we started this.
No.
And I'm trying to figure out a way to get to what I'm actually talking about. To give you an example, one of the first people we met when we started this adventure, he had a cargo trailer conversion, and he originally built it to fit him, and married to a lovely person. And but he would talk about he sure wished that she would come camping with him, and but he would also say that she didn't want to come camping with him. Of course, and he knows us well, so we can say this now quite honestly, and he'll be the first one to admit it too, that his original build out really wasn't suited for the other gender.
It was a man cave. You can say it.
It was a man cave. But he got her into coming to one of our rendezvous, and but what he did, he modified it so that they could both
Be more comfortable.
in there. It wasn't a perfect situation by any means, but it was better. And she came with him to that, and I have to admit though that and we cannot explain it, but we feel that our experiences and the experiences that that other people experience. I'm going to wear that word out, experience. The experiences that they have when they come to these rendezvous are unique, because I'm going to refer back to what we've been saying, and we say this over and over again, and we're not just saying this, we're actually repeating what other people say to us all the time, that once they've been talking to someone at one of these rendezvous within 15 minutes or so, and this is not made up, this is true, they feel as if they've known this person, for years. And you're going to hear those comments on some of these other walkthrough videos we have yet to release that we did at this last little meetup that we had. And so she came to this one, and those are the kind of experiences she had. Now, so then, because of that, he was very encouraged. So he realized that this man cave trailer, even though he modified it so it would be more comfortable for both of them, it still wasn't the perfect situation. We would not do it. We would not get along in that trailer.
No.
The way it was. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
my friend.
Sorry, my friend.
Yeah, but and he knows that too. Mm-hmm. So what he does, he goes out and he actually purchases a traditional RV, but not a big one, a small one that's still easy to tow, but a one that would be much more comfortable for her. Is that what it is?
Maybe that's what's doing it. I don't know.
Oh, is it still doing it?
I guess.
Who with?
Adonna suggested I do that.
Okay. So anyway, and I don't know that she's missed one since he did that.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't know that she has.
No, I don't think so.
Now, I don't think she's ready to go full time out there. And of course, as far as I'm concerned, I think as far as he's concerned, he doesn't plan on doing that either. But anyway, that's something. It all depends on it. It helps a lot when it's a certain type of people that you meet when you're out there, and of course, we know nothing about your the other person you're talking about, if she's outgoing or if she is not, but we've also made friends with a lot of people that and the husband would come up to me later and say, I can't believe that she is this much outgoing and feels so comfortable around everybody. But here again, it has to do with the people that seems to flock to these rendezvous that we have. And I don't know of another way to tell you how to find those kind of people. But anyway, that's one thing that I'm thinking about here when it comes to that.
Okay, let's see if I can catch up. Good night, Patty. Hi, Robert from Ohio. We haven't heard from you in a while.
No, I think he commented recently on a video. I remember seeing it. I should have acknowledged it. I apologize for that.
Ed, that's not even fair. He started with a full glass of rum chata and Fireball. I'm getting low. Well, I guess you know where the counter is.
I'm sending Kathy a
Hey,
link.
Lisa.
Sending Kathy a link to this thing I saw.
Hi, Sarah and Andy in Vermont. Thank you for watching. The live stream is a great new direction for your channel. We do lives every once in a while. This isn't, we can't always because we don't have great internet service.
Right.
And you have to have pretty good internet to go live. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you get a lot of buffering.
Yeah.
And
You got to have a minimum of upload speeds. You got to have a minimum of 10 megabytes per second upload speeds to go live without fear of buffering a lot.
right.
Here we have over 50, and we don't always have that, but we do here.
Did you replace your mini split?
No.
We've always had the Senville.
Yeah.
We had some trouble because it got struck by lightning. But Senville sent us, it was giving off a code, and Bill read the code and contacted Senville. They told him what the code meant. It was one of two parts, and they said, we'll just send you both parts.
For free.
And they didn't charge us for that. Of course,
I watched a couple of YouTube videos and then got a friend to help me, and we did it in...
I think we had 2 friends helping.
Well, could have... Yeah, that's right, we did. Only because I was nervous about pulling on the coils in the air handler to get them out of the way.
Katie says she still has Grandma and Grandpa's rockers right where they were when I left.
Yep.
And yes, someone else said to this gentleman to start small, go away for a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, you don't have to jump into this full time. I mean, the number of people that we know that are full time are very few. Most everybody that we meet are...
They have a sticks and bricks.
They have a sticks. They have a house. They come out to the campground. A lot of them are more in their camper, RV, whatever, than they are at home. Very few people that we have met, there's a few, but very few are full-time.
Yeah. Now, another thing, too, she probably won't know, like if you want to try to, if your goal is to be able to go full-time someday, and hopefully that she does it with you if that's your goal, quite honestly, neither of you know exactly what you will be comfortable with when you go full-time until you get out there and experience it. And so I would probably suggest you start off simple, but yet in a way that that you know that she would be most comfortable with, and then kind of see how you go from there.
He said, thank you. He'll try not to make it a man cave. Thank you, Bobtail Trucker. I appreciate it.
Well, to be quite honest with you, on both of our builds, Deb, it was what Deb wanted. You know, I handled the mechanicals and things like that, and I had the basic idea of the floor plan, how we wanted to lay it out. But Deb was the one that did the details. And what I mean by details is I would have been happy with an 8-inch mattress. She wanted a 12-inch mattress.
We have a 12.
We have a 12. You know, and things like that, if you know what I'm saying.
Bill would have been happy with a 20-inch sink, but then Bill doesn't do the dishes. I've got a 34-inch sink.
See what I mean?
I do the dishes.
So it's a joint effort. It's not, you know, all my way and you're just along for the ride. And you probably know that, or you wouldn't even be asking the questions that you're asking in the manner in which you're asking it.
Richard Jenkins, we got that man cave now. Yes, you do, Rich, and you and Nancy have made it totally different.
Yep, you have.
Here's someone who wants to know if we can film more at the Rendezvous.
Well, we try. How do I answer this without making it sound like I think I'm a know-it-all?
I don't know where you're going, but Bill is constantly at the Rendezvous. He's in the daytime because there's so many people there that are so proud of their builds, and we are so thrilled to do it. He's doing what we call walkthrough videos, just about all day, every day. In the evenings, we're just trying to, well, we usually have some planned events that Bill is very much involved with. So,
Yeah, go ahead, keep talking.
we, plus, part of our friendship with these people is that we don't put a camera in people's faces all the time.
Just imagine what it would be like if I walked around like this all day.
They wouldn't talk to him.
Yeah. And that's the reason why I picked this up and did this, and we've commented on it before. And yeah, we could do more filming than we do, but on the other hand, not everybody wants to be in front of the camera, and I just don't want to be that one that everybody starts running from because I'm wanting to do this, the whole time.
So we do what we can do. All we can do is encourage you. The best way to experience it is to, hopefully we have one near you. We're trying to do different locations that you can come join us, even if it's just for the day.
One of the walkthrough videos that we did, and I'll tell you what her name is, and I think they're watching. They were a while ago.
They were a while ago.
Yeah, Joyce.
He's going to tell on you, Joyce.
Yeah, Joyce. When it got, then their trailer is pretty cool the way they did it. It really, really is, and y'all are going to get a big kick out of it. But you're going to get a kick out of her too. She was so nervous about being on camera, and her husband wanted her to be on camera, and I just did my best to put her at ease, but I also made sure she understood that we need some beauty in this video. We don't need to be just me and Chris, And but she was just real nervous about being on camera, but she did a wonderful job, and she is one of the sweetest people in the world, and you'll see that when you'll see what I'm talking about when you see that video. So yeah.
What internet connection do you use?
Okay, here we go.
We use this
We use
device.
T-Mobile. We use T-Mobile home internet service. And for right now, we are still, because we got it, what, 2 years ago?
At least two.
At least 2, maybe 3. I can't remember. Shortly after they came out. Not too long after they came out.
Paige told us about it, and
Yeah,
we went and got one.
Right. And of course, everybody's been hearing all this. A bunch of YouTubers out there made a bunch of money getting on there and saying that T-Mobile is going to go to this plan they called the Away Plan, I think, where they're going to go from $50 a month, which is what we're paying, to $160 a month for those that travel with their T-Mobile internet service. Before I get into that part of it, though, let me tell you that 90% of the time we have decent internet, good enough internet to stream whatever we want to watch on TV. We can watch YouTube, we can watch Amazon Prime, we can do any of this stuff. And then there's those other times when the service is really, really, really good, and we have enough upload speeds to go live like we're doing right now. So, but we have had on occasion at a few campgrounds here and there, not very many at all.
Not very many.
Where we had nothing. But on the other hand,
Nobody else did
either. Whether it be Verizon or AT&T. Now, the money thing, the Away Plan, and all that stuff. The only time I've ever heard anything about this at all, and I'm not saying that it ain't going to happen, but the only time I've ever heard anything about this at all are the YouTubers that made their videos and their videos went viral because everybody's saying, "Oh no, I've been using YouTube," so they made some ton of money then, and doing that. Of course, we never did make a video about that. We haven't been hit with the higher fee yet. We may someday. It may happen. And quite honestly, if it does, we will think about it a little bit more and make a decision whether we want to stay with T-Mobile or go with Starlink at that time, because the cost of Starlink, or the cost of the equipment, is coming down pretty good right now. But we'll make that decision then. And we may decide just to go ahead and stay with T-Mobile and pay the price. What we are concerned about is if we go out west, which we're considering that too, next winter possibly, T-Mobile probably won't be all that great out there, but I've heard other people say that it wasn't that bad out there, so I don't know. But anyway, the T-Mobile so far has been working decent. If you were to go in there and try to get a T-Mobile home internet box now and tell them that you were going to travel with it, they would make you pay the 160 some a month is what they would do. We haven't been hit with that yet where ours is going to go up. And you know good and well they know that we travel with it, but we're just going to make that decision if and when it happens. But right now we're using T-Mobile, and so far it's been working well. And when the time comes, we'll make a decision whether to stay with them or switch to Starlink at that time.
Okay, let's see. We're up to 244 people. We've been on an hour.
This is fantastic. We appreciate that. We're really grateful, folks.
Michelle says, I watched your video on how living this lifestyle keeps you active. That hits home for us. And yes, I truly believe it does. Even, you know, when we just kind of hang, like today, it was a yuck day and we were piddling around in here and we decided, let's go for a drive because there's another campground close by we want to go see. Well, they were closed for repairs. Yeah. But anyway, it was a nice drive.
I was going to film it.
And of course, somebody said that since I did the cooking, you should wash the dishes. But, you know. Let's see. I'm trying to get everything in case we missed something. A lot of chit-chatting between themselves.
Always is.
That's okay. That's what we like.
We do. We like it a lot.
Here's Robin from the Bear Proof Camper. Hey.
Hey, Robin.
And someone else, BW, says, we will be pulling into your current location Friday.
We'll be gone.
And we're pulling out Thursday. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Darn.
The guy that, Town Mag, who asked the question about his girlfriend going with him, he's, thank you everyone for their advice. T-Mobile works great in Quartzsite, too.
Does it really?
Uh-huh.
When we go out west, we probably won't go to Quartzsite, but okay. Yeah, that's going to create a controversy. Yeah.
I didn't even hear what you said. I
said if we go out west, we probably won't go to Quartzsite.
Well, we'll just see what's happening.
Yeah.
The Oscars could be affecting this live stream, and that's a possibility. Who knows? But we've been on maybe. An hour, and that's usually what we try to keep it to.
Yeah, yeah. Unless if there's any last minute things.
That's what I was looking for. Quick. I don't see anything particularly. Just people talking about what a great time they had last week, meeting new people. We got several saying that. Others were, saying that not everybody likes to be on camera. And just things we've been talking about. So. Oh,
let me back to the T-Mobile thing just for a little bit, and this doesn't have to. I'm not trying to say get T-Mobile, but the way you can know, a lot of people when they figure what their signal strength is, the first thing to do is look at how many bars they got. Well, I got 3 bars or I got 4 bars. Well, that's helpful, but if you are wanting to stream. Like if you're wanting to be able to watch Amazon or something like that,
the weather,
you need to get you an app that tells you what your actual signal strength is. And there's two kinds. There's download speeds and upload speeds. Now, unless if you've got a YouTube channel, where you'd be uploading video content, upload speeds are not all that important. But download speeds can be, and the app that we use to read that is an app called Open Signal, and it's a free app, and just simply download it, and it will tell you what your speeds are wherever you are, and that will help you, and then you can make a mental note of that. We pretty much know on a lot of the campgrounds that we go to, because we've frequented them before, especially when we got a route we developed to come down to Florida and a route we developed when we go back. if we're going to go to campgrounds we're familiar with, we know we have a good idea what kind of speeds we're going to have when we get there. And sometimes we even know what part of the park we need to try to get into to get the best speeds. But with that app, Open Signal, that will help you know what kind of speeds you have. Now, like if you're looking at getting a T-Mobile internet service, though, but if you've got a Verizon phone, the app will be helpful as far as Verizon's concerned, but it ain't going to tell you nothing about T-Mobile if you're looking at getting the T-Mobile internet. But Verizon has one that's like the T-Mobile one. So,
Good night, Ed.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's time. Good night. Happy place. People are going good night,
Okay.
Jim.
They were yawning on that one.
All right. No, we've been on an hour.
Okay.
We appreciate y'all coming on, and hope we didn't bore you too much.
Yeah, really. Anyway, we appreciate all of you so much, and I think this is probably one of the biggest audiences we've had since we ever did a live. But be watching for some more walkthrough videos. We'll have another one coming up here shortly, within the next couple of days, and we're going to try to get as much video content done while we're here with good internet speeds, and we will be. We'll see you often, and we're going to be doing another tips and suggestions video here soon too.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess we'll let you go. This is Bill and Deb with I Ride Tiny House Adventures, and you know exactly what we're going to say. We are not camping.
We are living.
And we've been doing that for 6 years now.
Yes.
All right. We'll see you guys again